Fear of the unknown. If there's one thing that continues to set back humanity, it's how we respond to the unknown. We have historically been conditioned to destroy the unknown, or those affected by the unknown. To always shoot first, ask questions later. But what has that brought? A wide divide. Harmful and dangerous stereotypes. Unnecessary loss. When AIDS first appeared in the mainstream during the early 80s, it was met with heavy discrimination and stigma. As if being openly gay wasn't hard enough, with many already demonising homosexuals, it now meant you had to deal with scared, aggressive people who looked at you like you were a walking time bomb, like you meant the end of the world. But time sometimes tends to soften prejudice. Time can shine light on the good. Bravery emerges. Hope and acceptance grow. If we can talk openly about it, we can find answers. As the late Elizabeth Taylor once said, it's bad enough that people are dying of AIDS, but no one should die of ignorance.
Would you hook up with or date a positive man?
Yes, I would totally date someone that is HIV positive because we have PrEP now, we have condoms, we have like all the things. So yeah.
I guess you fall in love with someone or you go out with someone because you like them, you know, rather than...
You can't help who you fall in love with.
Even back in the day, I would much rather sleep with an HIV positive person that knows their status and is on effective treatment than somebody that was last tested in 2015, you know?
Would you ask someone you met at a first time whether they were positive?
I've never asked anyone who
No,
was HIV positive.
For me, it's not a problem at all. And like, I'm on PrEP, so people are more open about it as well. They'll probably tell you if anything's going to come up. What is your experience with HIV? Any close friends who are positive?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, quite a few close friends that are positive. I'm having a kind of a full-on career of dance in the 80s. A lot of my friends became positive. A lot of my mentors are positive.
Yeah.
And actually a lot of them are still alive. I have a family member who's HIV, who's actually straight.
How did your family take that?
We're a very supportive family anyway. I think he just had one bad relationship.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, we're a very supportive family.
That's cool.
So he's got all the love and all the care. Right back at you, any close friends who are positive?
Last year I had one of my best friends very close to me. We went to the clinic together and he got diagnosed with HIV. And he was broken, and I knew lots of people that had HIV and the normal life that you can live. So I, consoling him and took him back to his house and we hung out for a little bit. He thought his life was over pretty much.
How old is he?
At the time he was 19. And then he asked me to go get some stuff from the supermarket. I was away maybe half an hour and came back and he's hung himself in the closet. So it was really hard. Yeah.
You have zero control over how other people react, and I think that's what most people are most afraid of. It stops people from going and getting tested. It stops people from, carrying on with their life post-diagnosis.
It's the stigma that kills, not anything else. Yeah.
My question is for Dan. In October 2016, Grindr introduced a new filter on the app. Mm-hmm. You can now tell if someone is negative on PrEP, positive or positive undetectable. What are your thoughts on this?
I find it invasive. I feel like if I go and put negative as my status, it doesn't help anyone who's positive. If I join that group of people who are going, no, I'm fine. Yeah. And that's what the majority of those statuses would be. Yeah. So all I see it doing is singling out people who decide to be open and open themselves up to what some friends of mine have experienced, which is rejection or sometimes just outright betrayal. So I don't see it as adding any value.
If I was somebody that was, fresh out on the scene and I was using an app like that, it's quite dangerous to take something that's just written in their profile at face value.
And who actually updates their last tested, and that kind of stuff. And it's so easy to just click negative. It's not like you don't have to actually get tested to be able to put it on there.
It'd certainly be easier than having I'm HIV positive on a profile.
Yeah.
So this one's for Bruce. As a gay man in a long-term and monogamous relationship, what would you say is the secret to a long-lasting relationship?
We weren't monogamous to start with, mind you. He was the first person I ever had sex with, bizarrely enough. But then I had sex with a lot of other people. But yeah, 42 years we've been together now. And so it is possible. But we were we were close friends. So we've just learnt to share our lives together. I think we stopped having extra sexual things probably about 15 years ago. And it's actually been quite a relief since then. Sort of quite nice. It's a nice sort of life now because we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. But I'm still attracted to people, but I don't have sex with them. Yeah. In fact, I'm almost glad I wasn't young now because you guys have got so much more choice, with your grinders and all that. I think, what would I have been like?
So a question for you, my dear. So have you experienced any HIV scares or sort of?
I've only really had one, and it's actually I still don't know my status. So I met someone on an app, and he just didn't ask for permission to wear like a condom, so he didn't, and I froze. I didn't know that he was going to go on raw, and I didn't know what to do. It's kind of like they just like expect that they can. So it was, I am still nervous, and it's like the anxious feeling of afterwards that you're like, what's going to happen? And
that's the violation. Everybody should have body autonomy, and that if we're having sort of a discussion about what sex we're undertaking, what I feel comfortable with, to have somebody just decide for you, like I totally understand how that feels. And
it was only until like after that I could like actually say like that wasn't cool. That like you shouldn't do that. Don't do that again. I just wish I could have like voiced sooner.
You haven't seen that person?
Oh God, no! I don't want to see them again in my life.
Does it help having these, conversations like this where that there are people out there that are supportive, even if...
Yeah, my opinion on HIV is that it doesn't define a person, just like our sexuality doesn't really define us. So.
As a positive man, how do you find the general perception of people towards you?
I mean, it's changed. When I was first diagnosed, I had people that wouldn't use cups in my apartment, or that sort of stupidity. I had a friend that was one of my oldest friends from New Zealand. One of them said to me, "Well, we always knew you were going to get it." It's weird because I don't know of any other medical condition that people have to deal with this sort of bullshit, this sort of judgment. I've had, people beat me up when I disclosed. I've had, people cut me off. I've had abuse online. It's an ever-evolving conversation because science improves and information improves. And, stigma sort of thrives in ignorance. It dies in knowledge. It dies in conversation and being open and sort of transparent. And so I found that the more open and transparent I am and the more I put myself out there, then, I'm not encountering stigma. I'm not afraid to tell people, this is me. I'm not going to let people stigmatize me. I like who I am. I like what I've done with my life post-HIV. I'm not ashamed of it. Bring it on. And people respond to that.
Now there are a plethora of options available to us. And whether you're using all of them or a combination of any of them to protect yourself, if you're informed, then it works. Condoms, testing in proportion to the amount and type of sex you're having, knowledge about window periods, PrEP, an undetectable viral load, it's all vital and wonderful and worthy. But start with knowledge and communication.